I have no idea what this one's going to be about. This was sent to me by a friend. I I don't even have a guess. So you're going in the trenches with me in this one. I make no apologies for it. We are going to suffer through this one together.
What does your diet consist of?
A lot of nitrates, a couple beers, not a lot of vegetables, believe it or not.
What does your diet consist of?
I love the honesty. I love the joking of what he said. It's just not a lot of vegetables, believe it or not. I mean, I completely shocked me. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. You know, I mean, everybody says there's food groups and people stick to certain food groups. And I've been told that beer is a food group or alcohol is a food group. That's a very interesting artwork that he's got on his belly. I don't really know what that says. I have no idea what that says, but you know, kudos to him for you know, being honest and kind of sticking to character, whatever that character is. It's clearly at a sporting event for the Philadelphia Eagles for football. There's a comment on this one that says if gout was a person. That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's you know, it is. There's so many people in the American population that have terrible eating habits. And I'm a person that actually believes that food is medicine and that a lot of the issues that we see nowadays, from mental health to physical disease to cardiovascular disease, I truly believe that it starts with the food and the consumption of the things that we do every single day. I personally live a life where I get most of my food from the farmers markets. Everything is organic. I know exactly how the meat that I purchase is raised. It's grass-fed. It's organic. I like my cows being in sunshine. I like them eating grass as much as possible. I like them having a very peaceful area to live their life, and that's important to me. And I also like to know that the fruits and the vegetables that I get are not sprayed by anything and not near anything that's sprayed. So I generally, about 95% of my food I purchase from farmers markets and direct from farmers. That has completely turned my health around. And I genuinely eat to feel good. I used to eat just for flavor. And I think a lot of Americans, unfortunately, go that direction. They go for flavor, which is like your heavily fried, you know, your heavily sugared, your processed foods out there, which is just absolutely junk for you. It does nothing good for you at all. It's mostly genetically modified. There's no true nutrient dense things that you're consuming, so your body doesn't know what the hell to do with it. It's like, I'm confused, so maybe I'll just store it somewhere until I figure out what to do with it. This guy's a great example. Unfortunately, it gets stored a lot in certain areas, and then eventually down the road, if he doesn't already, he's probably in line for some pretty nasty disease and some heavily medicated life down the road. I mean, just the skin tone in his face is showing a lot of inflammation. I've been there, I've seen it, and it is just not a good place to be. I don't personally drink alcohol anymore. I used to, but probably about 3 or 4 years ago. As of then, I don't really mess with it anymore, because as good as the buzz might feel in the moment, I don't really like the turnaround and coming back from it. It takes my body like, you know, 2 or 3 days, sometimes even longer to come around and get back into my clear-minded self. So to me, alcohol is a poison. I don't think it's really good for anybody. It doesn't really do anybody any good. There is no positive thing that comes from it, in my personal opinion. It messes people up a lot more than it does good. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I appreciate the humor. I appreciate the straightforwardness and the honesty. But the reality is that we're in a pretty nasty crisis in America. Fake food everywhere. Me personally, I started with water. I clarified my water. Then I started replacing foods. And it was interesting. I used to eat a lot of sugar things. I used to eat a lot of junk food. And what I realized is that once I started eating really, really good food that made me feel good, eventually my body started craving those good foods because it made me feel good and it made me perform better. And when that goes for my brain, that goes for my body, that goes for my fitness, my performance, my brain health, everything, all of that stuff. When my body started to realize the results and the positivity that was coming out of it, it started to crave that and demand it. And then honestly, there was a time where I absolutely loved milk chocolate. That was something that I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to give up milk chocolate. Twix was my thing, chocolate chip cookies, all of that stuff. Yeah, give me more of it. Didn't matter. I was totally on board. I was like, this stuff ain't going to kill me. I'm resilient. I'm bulletproof. What was interesting is that there was a couple of times where I went to the doctor and I actually had some like pre-diabetic measurements. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. I work out like 5-6 times a week. I drink tons of water. What could possibly go wrong? And it was just the sourcing of my food. It was the choices of my food. It was the choices of the junk food that I was deciding to have. Back to the milk chocolate example that I was going to give. I had stopped eating anything milk chocolate for like a couple of years, and I had a little bit of an experiment with myself, and I was like, what does this taste like now after a couple of years of not having it? Let me see what it tastes like. And I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was a Hershey's bar or something. I forgot what it was, but it was something that was very clearly milk chocolate. It might have even been Twix. And I went back to it, and it was just the most chemical tasting thing that I'd ever had in my life. It was so wild that because I was so, I guess you could say, addicted to it, or I was so consistent with eating it, that I would never know I would never know that it tasted like that until I stopped and I had real food and I was focusing on nutrient dense foods. And then I went back to it just to see, just had a small little helping, and I ended up spitting it out. It was wild. I highly recommend anybody that if you know you're eating bad, and come on, like most people that are eating crap, like you're eating crap, like you know it. Start small. Start by doing a day. Promise yourself a day that you'll get through a day of no crap whatsoever. Just solid, nutrient-dense food, meat, vegetables, water. That's it. No caffeine, no pop, no sugary sodas, no sugary drinks, none of that shit. Just like straight up high quality food. And then if you can do it through a day, then challenge yourself to 3 days, then a week. And I promise you, if you could get to like a month, if you could work your way up to a month, you'll never look back. You will change your life forever. You will never look back. If you can promise yourself 1 month, and you can make it through 1 month, and you might make a couple of mistakes in there. That's cool. Like progress, not perfection. That's what I always say. Like you aim for the best, but understand that there could be slip ups. But if you go for it, if you go all in for like even a couple of weeks, that will lead you to a month. But if you get to that month, your life will change. You will never look back at junk food the same. You'll never drink soda again. You'll never all of that shit that you used to have. You will absolutely never go back to that. I promise. I've rambled enough on this one. I hope you got some good info out of it, and we'll see you next time.